heroism. It's the pursuit of two ideals, excellence and a higher purpose. This noble mission is not just found in Hollywood. It's a game changer for businesses devoted to it. Almost all business owners launch their company to make a difference in the world around them. Join us on the Heroic Experience as we talk with business owners, senior leaders, and established entrepreneurs so that you too can elevate your business to heroic success. Now, here's your host, John D. Hanson.
Welcome back to the Heroic Experience. We are so grateful to be sponsored by Kaufman Media. Digital signage, it's everywhere. It's a part of our lives, and you may not even realize how much it is. Check out their website, kaufmanmedia.com, to find all kinds of ways that digital signage can help your business communicate effectively inside your organization and outside of it. That's Kaufman Media, spelled Coffman media.com. Happy to have Brian Wollenberg in studio with us today. Brian is the president and founder of the Byron Saunders Foundation. Love what he does. But before we get into your story and specifically what Byron Saunders does, we would love to hear some of those stories that have just really touched your heart about what your foundation does. Brian, so share with us what comes to your mind as one of the most compelling stories of how you have impacted a family's life through what Byron Saunders does.
So one that especially comes to mind, especially this past year with the pandemic and whatnot.
Oh, yes.
And that was a very interesting year with that. But one that comes to mind was we helped one family that had 19 people. Wow. 19 people under one roof.
Wow.
And so that was very eye-opening.
Yeah.
And the impact of what Byron Saunders does.
Yes.
And what, 19 under, one household is just, very, it's not unique, and it just spoke to me. Because a lot of times I do not see
right
the impact of what the situation is.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that was very telling to me.
Yeah. Did you get any feedback from that family, or was it you found out that this is who we're helping? How did you come across that?
So it was actually, we needed to give them an extra gift card, or they didn't get their meal delivered to them. Okay. And so I needed to deliver the food to them, and so with that, I got to see.
You got to see firsthand.
Yes, because when we were smaller,
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of the impact even more. Okay, from a
Yes.
personal standpoint. But
Right.
now we're getting bigger.
Right.
You don't see some of the impact as you might, because we deliver about 100 meals of the 4,000 that we in Franklin County. And the thing is that we work with a lot of agencies and like Big Brothers Big Sisters, food
Okay.
pantries. So we don't see as many of the stories. But this one was impactful for, okay, I get to deliver it and give them their gift cards, and
Wow.
but I forget exactly the if someone overlooked that or not. But the point being is that it was a blessing because I've got to see and meet the family. But it was a young boy that came out and that got the food and took it up to the family. And but there was 19.
Wow.
And so, you just don't know what somebody is going through.
No, you
and
don't.
What their situation is, and it's just a blessing to be able to support others.
Yes.
Okay. And so the impact of what somebody is, the impact that we can have on human beings is amazing. And so ours is Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Yeah, the collective impact you can have, the difference you can make. People think, well, I don't have that much. Yeah, but that not that much times 100 times 1,000 is a lot. And then the impact when you collect that, when you pool those little bits, can make a life-changing difference where someone going through, and particularly last year, right, how many curveballs got thrown at people, people going through difficult times, this can be a source of hope. This can be a source of encouragement because you're giving them something that they absolutely need. It's a basic, essential need, food, but you're also connecting it to a part of the year, Thanksgiving, that typically has a lot of nostalgia and a lot of memories attached to it.
Yeah.
And if the only thing you take away from that is the fact of what you didn't have or what you couldn't do at that time frame, it's one of the few times a year where families are diligent about gathering.
Yes.
And particularly with how things have been because of the pandemic, families gathering was so critical last year.
Yeah.
You mentioned back in your earlier days, Brian, what's a story you remember when you were having more of that interaction face-to-face with the families you served? Was there one that really stood out to you back then?
Man, that's a great question.
Because there are probably so many, but is there one that really jumps off the page?
Just, I've just had so many to where there's like, we don't know what we would do if you didn't provide Thanksgiving meals for us. Okay? That's there's not one that jumps out, but there's a lot that jump out that say, hey, here's the thing. If it wasn't for Byron Saunders, we wouldn't have be able to gather as a family. We gathered. There's no food. There's no, and the thing is that what I want people to realize, what really jumps out is that when the impact of like you were saying, that it is Thanksgiving, but the food is for your nourishment, right? Okay, but spending time with your family,
yes,
and that's where so many people that we don't know what we would have done. Okay, and the food is part of it, and so, but a lot of people could be, not having a job,
right?
I can remember that just because there's a house,
right?
Okay, just because there's a house, that's one that comes to mind, to where, because I've been doing this for 23 years. I don't know how many years ago it was, but the point being is that you can't view what somebody's financial circumstances is, because they have a 2-story house.
Right.
They could be paying off their mortgage, but there's no food for them.
Right.
And
They could have lost their job. You could have 2 incomes down to 1 income. You could have no incomes all of a sudden.
So that's the impact.
Can't judge a book by its cover, can you?
So that's the impact that sometimes we don't see.
Yes.
And just because somebody's they're paying their mortgage, doesn't mean that they do not need food too.
Right. Well, we're coming up on a break, Brian. Looking forward to the next conversation, because that's where we really dive into your story, the Byron Saunders Foundation story. I'm really looking forward to hearing that. So if you like this Heroic Experience podcast, please find us on Spotify, Podbean, on our YouTube channel, Accelerated Revenue, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you like to listen. Keep tuning in, because stories like this can absolutely elevate your business to heroic success. Join us back after the break.
Inspire, influence, and connect your audience with digital signage. Kaufman Media offers customizable digital signage solutions designed to meet your company's specific goals. Whether you need digital menu boards for your quick service restaurant, digital displays for marketing in your retail stores, or wayfinding and unified communications for your schools, your corporations, or your healthcare facility, our customizable, affordable options and proven experience make us the only partner you'll need for your next digital signage project. Visit kaufmanmedia.com today to learn more. That's COFFMAN media.com.
Would you buy a car from a dealer without a test drive first? for your business, a consulting partner is even more important. Accelerated Revenue is excited to announce the Take Us for a Test Drive event. Receive 2 exclusive workshops on customer experience and winning culture, a customized culture snapshot, and a leadership strategy session worth over $10,000, all in for just $2,500. Best of all, when you onboard our consulting team, we'll credit you the entire $2,500. Spots are limited, so visit our website today at accrev.com/test drive.
Check out John's worldwide selling book, Wow Your Customers, 7 Ways to World-Class Service on Amazon. Now, once again, here's John.
Welcome back to the Heroic Experience. We are grateful to be sponsored by Kaufman Media, digital signage solutions, and far more. Visit their website, kaufmanmedia.com, to learn all those things about digital signage you might not have known and how they can help your business. That's spelled COFFMAN media.com. Happy to have Brian Wollenberg, president, founder of the Byron Saunders Foundation, been doing this for 23 years. This is the segment I really do enjoy the most, Brian, because we get to dive into the story that captures my attention the most. Because like you said in the first segment, you don't know somebody's story until they'll share it with you. The house doesn't tell you that. The business card doesn't tell you that. Even their profile doesn't tell you that on social media. It's really the story we get to hear. So we'd like to hear 2 things in this segment. Your story, far back as you'd like to go, and then how that merged with the Byron Saunders Foundation story 23 years ago.
Okay. So I always like to go back to how I got the Thanksgiving idea. Okay.
Yeah.
So it started out at the Birch Tavern, which is in Groveport, actually. Okay. And so about 94, 95, my mother was a school teacher, and she knew a lady, the owner of Birch Tavern, that did a adopt a family, and the Groveport School District would provide the names for the families. Well, I got to know the lady really well. Her name was Marty Muncie, and she's like, I do Christmas. Why don't you do Thanksgiving? Because I've had this passion building up, and I wasn't clear on what that was.
Okay,
and so that's where the Thanksgiving idea came from. So the first year, out of my own pocket, we helped 50 families.
Wow.
Yep, 50 families, and we would and the names, how we got those was the same way through Groveport teachers, etc.
Okay.
Then you also in '97 there was I worked at Coca-Cola.
Okay.
And Byron Saunders was my second shift supervisor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember this now.
And he was just a wonderful man. And so I worked there for a year and a half. And in '99, he died in a car accident. And then when we became a nonprofit in 2002, named it after him. Now, why after him? Just a great man, and he helped deliver some stuff, meals to families the first couple of years. So it was just a great relationship, and it was in my heart to name it after him.
Wow.
And
so what do you think, as you're looking back on maybe childhood, early adulthood, what do you think kind of got the spark going where you couldn't put a
great question.
finger on
Great question.
what you wanted to do, but you felt this thing kind of stirring in you?
So
what sparked that?
So what it was is, and I tell parents this, and people are watching you. People are watching you. Your kids are watching you.
Yes.
And they, if you think or not, they're watching you.
Yes, they are.
And they're learning from you.
Yes.
Whatever that is.
Right.
And my parents were involved in an organization called St. Vincent de Paul Society, which is a Catholic organization.
Okay.
And basically taking food to go to the grocery store, take the food to the person that would need support, etc. So I saw that at a young age, and that spoke to me. I loved it. It was great, and so it was just building and building. But I don't even know if they realized that or not to the extent. No. But my mother's passed. But I tell my dad, I said, I don't know if you really realize the impact that you've had on my life because of you included us
Yes.
in this journey, okay, to give back, to what does that look like? And that kind of was the foundation.
The foundation, yeah.
The foundation of what could be.
Yeah.
You know,
You didn't
that's
know
just
what it
like-
was going to be, but you had a foundation of like, I want to do something like this that makes a difference for somebody
Yep.
else's life. I don't know what that looks like yet, but that was in you.
It was in me,
because of what
yes.
was modeled for you.
Yes. Yep. And so, yeah, I'm a visual person. And so seeing people doing different things really supports me a lot. And that was totally seeing my parents in action and doing things for other people, not just by words, but by action.
Yes.
That's what triggered the momentum that's never lost me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just really been a blessing to create it, you know, and yeah, that's what speaks to me.
Do you find that there's a common thread with the people that are most engaged with Byron Saunders, that they also either two extremes, like you, they experienced that, raised it, modeled it, or they had the exact opposite of that. They didn't have it. There was that vacuum of giving, and they were like, I want to change this when I become an adult. Do you see both of those extremes, or do you see more often the ones that are so actively involved in Byron Saunders, it was modeled for them by someone they respected, parents, teachers, a mentor? What's been your experience, Brian?
A little bit of both, I would say, but just, you know, people want to help.
Yeah.
And they, you know, it's just trying to figure out what they want to do and being clear. Maybe it's not Byron Saunders. Maybe it's with another organization.
Sure.
You know, that's one thing that I've found is that people really want to help. And it doesn't have to be a board member or committee member. It could be whatever you want to do. And just being open to supporting others with that attitude, and everything else will work out.
Yeah.
So, but I will tell you though, not ever worrying about a meal.
Yes.
In my life, I've never have, you know,
Right.
but having people in the organization
Who have.
that's something that's important to me.
Yeah.
But even hearing those stories,
Yes.
you know, that's what speaks to me. And, you know, so it's just a matter of finding what someone experience is, you know, for whatever it is. They didn't maybe have a meal, but those people there's nothing like the people that have lived that. And then,
Sure.
you know, and that's what, you know, I would love more people to get more involved in finding those and me understanding what that is, you know. So
It's interesting you say that, because I feel like some people might be listening and they're in startup. They had so many curveballs thrown at them last year. Oftentimes we, particularly in America that has really, compared to a lot of the rest of the world, a pretty thriving economy, a lot of people automatically think, they think of donations. They think of giving. And there's multiple ways, and we'll get to this in the third segment, but there's multiple ways people can support, particularly an organization like this. We give through our company, Accelerated Revenue, AR Billing Services, that we do a food drive at our place. By just adding a few cans here and there to your budget as you go shopping anyways, and then just dropping it, add up over a month or two when you're doing the drive, that makes a difference.
it does.
So it doesn't have to be money. As a matter of fact, I will get to this in the last segment, because I think you'll answer what I think I have the answer. You're going to say is that an organization like yours that has so many moving parts, there's actually a few things far more important than money. You can always find that. It's people and time. But we'll get to that in the third segment. Come back and join us for that last segment with Brian Wollenberg. Join us after the break.
Did you know that 70% of U.S. residents 12 and older recall seeing digital signage in the past week? Digital signage provides a 35% reduction in perceived wait time with a 30% increase in a customer's in-store browsing time. Kaufman Media offers customizable digital signage solutions designed to meet your company's specific goals. Christina said,
We love our digital signage. The software is easy to use and we can publish content in minutes. It allows for every department to be seen and have a voice.
Visit kaufmanmedia.com today to learn more. That's COFFMAN media.com.
Attention event planners. Is your company or association planning a conference, seminar, or staff retreat? Are you looking for fresh ideas on high-demand topics like customer experience, leadership, empathy, customer service, earning and keeping trust, and more? Then you need to book John D. Hansen as your next speaker. Brooke said,
Great presentation. John's concepts help shift my thinking. A good fit for my life right now.
read more testimonials, discover John's full list of speaking topics, check out pricing and more on our website, accrev.com/keynote.
Would you like to be a guest on the Heroic Experience? Contact us at john.hansen@accrev.com. Now, once again, here's John.
Welcome back to the Heroic Experience. We are committed to elevating your business to heroic success. We are proudly sponsored by Kaufman Media. Check out their digital signage solutions and far more on their website, kaufmanmedia.com. That's spelled COFFMAN media.com. Privileged to have Brian Wollenberg, president and founder of Byron Saunders Foundation, in studio with us. This is the third segment where we really dive into best ways to contact. How can we support? What events do you have going on? But I really want to hear from you, Brian, because my hunch is that with how many people you serve now, as it grows bigger and bigger, you can always find more money. Money is not the most precious resource. What I've found over the years is that I believe the three most precious resources are time, people would agree with that, energy, and relationships. And in an effort like yours, I would think that, and I'd love to have your input on this, are those things more important where people are like, I don't have any money? Actually, what we could really use is a lot of people just contributing their hands, contributing their feet to this effort, because you need way more of those than you need dollars in the baskets. I know you need dollars. I know you need food raised, but I think the bigger it gets, the more you need people to help. Is that true?
Yes. Especially, well, first, relationships, I believe, take care of everything. And yes, like in November, most definitely, volunteers are always good.
November. Yeah, that's crunch month. Yeah.
And, what somebody wants to do, if somebody's interested in volunteering for Byron Saunders,
yes,
to get clear on what they're looking for and what we're looking for, let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be big. Like you said, it could be getting scouts to Girl Scouts, to a basketball team, hockey team to volunteer. Could be a workplace, where they're coming in to do something, so all kind of different ways. But the best way is, let's have a conversation and let's figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
And most definitely, again, that comes back to the relationship, and it's not about money or because relationship, and the more people the money will come.
Sure.
The canned foods will come.
Yes.
It will come.
Yes.
It's just a matter of awareness. Awareness is so big.
Yeah. Yeah. So where's the best place that people can go? I know there's probably more than one. So list the ways that they can learn about Byron Saunders, learn about you, and then they can reach out to find out, okay, so how can I best support the Byron Saunders Foundation? What are some ways they can contact you?
So the best way is ByronSaundersFoundation.org.
Okay.
And that's our website. We're on Facebook, Byron Saunders Foundation. We're on Instagram, or LinkedIn,
okay,
especially. And so, so those are ways to where, and people can email me and contact me. They can call me. And then we can have a conversation.
Yeah, so your contact info is on LinkedIn, under contact info, email, phone number, on any of the social media platforms. They can get a hold of you that way. The Byron Saunders Foundation, so if you're like, how do we spell that? How do we spell Wollenberg? It's all there on the show card. So if you're listening to this in any way, you're going to see the spelling of his name. You're going to see their website listed there on the show card as well. So if you're concerned about spelling, it's all there. If you Google Byron Saunders Foundation, you'll be able to find them. I love what you do. What would you say has been, as volunteers work and they give their time, what's been some of the feedback you've gotten from them? Because this show is geared towards business owners, executives, business leaders, established entrepreneurs. That's who this show is geared for. And they're thinking, all right, so how can our organization be a part of this? What's some feedback you've gotten from companies and business owners and entrepreneurs that have? What's the feedback you've gotten?
They love to especially help in November. Because why? Because they're going outside the workplace and they're connecting with their fellow employees. And,
okay.
And they're team building.
Yes,
they're becoming. They're building the relationships. There's that word of relationship again.
Yes.
They're building the relationships with their fellow employees, and they are connecting, and they're doing inventory, of the canned goods, putting the corn with the corn and green beans and et cetera, making the meals. That's the fun part. A lot of kids love that. Okay?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
So that process, people don't forget that.
No.
And so, and it's only 2-3 hours, maybe one day, if they want to do more, it's, and so it's very similar to process of like Mental Health Food Bank. They do the same thing.
Okay.
And different other food pantries do the same thing, where they get it's about team building.
Yes.
And
I got to jump in here, Brian, because I got to say this. If you're listening to this show and you have as some of your core values on the wall, we care for people. And I don't mean this to hit below the belt, but I need to be direct about this. When was the last time you, as the leader, as the owner, as the executive, as the manager, and your team did something to give back to the community, expecting nothing in return? Giving simply because you know it's good for the community, it matches your values. You're putting legs to the values you put on the wall. I can think of, in the Columbus area, I can think of very few organizations that have resonated so strongly, and Byron Saunders Foundation is one of them. What's another way? Because we talked about food drives. There's a couple other ways. So along with food drives, explain what that could be to someone. Well, what's a food drive? And then Amazon Smile. Some people might not be aware of this. Those two things, would you explain those in a little more detail, Brian?
Sure. So, so a food drive, what that looks like is we drop off a box to you, and then your business, or it could be church, could be, and
any organization. Yeah.
Correct. And you're collecting non-perishables. You're collecting the
non-perishables.
Yeah.
Got it.
So like corn, green beans, stuffing, instant potatoes. There's about 15 items that we're really looking to collect. Okay. But we will accept other things too. But
sure.
But we work with different food pantries, and so it's a win-win. And so, but the main thing is we're looking for those main Thanksgiving items: corn, green beans, stuffing, instant potatoes, canned fruit.
The stuff that would typically go with a Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazon Smile. We've done that for years now. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So Amazon Smiles is very similar to Kroger Community Rewards.
Okay.
But it's so when you don't 0.05% of what your bill goes toward a charity, and so Byron Saunders would love to have you, but there's others too, of course.
Of course. If you're on Amazon like we are all the time, we have Amazon Prime, use it all the time. If you're shopping already, this doesn't add any price to you.
Correct.
Amazon subtracts it from what you pay them and then directs it to. So if you don't have an Amazon Smile account, if you don't have a charity already designated, I highly recommend looking into Byron Saunders Foundation.
Thank you.
Again, their contact information is on the show card, and list them as your charity of choice, because you are making a difference, especially for a memorable time of year where you're meeting a tangible need. You're enabling a family to gather and have a special meal together. Few things more precious than that. Brian, I want to thank you for being our guest. I look forward to the next episode of The Heroic Experience, where we elevate your business to heroic success. See you next time.
This has been the Heroic Experience. To learn how your business can be profitable and heroic, visit accrev.com. For access to free weekly content, subscribe to the Accelerated Revenue YouTube channel and follow John D. Hanson on LinkedIn. To listen to archived shows, find them on the Accelerated Revenue website under the Resources tab, accrev.com.